Baby Keely, you had better get to work, sis. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for BET Presents the Encore. This is season 1, episode 2. Look, I already told y'all, baby, we at my wheelhouse. You know this is what I'm living for. I'm loving the show. This is my wheelhouse. I told y'all, girl groups, music, songwriting. You know, I love the whole zhuzh of this. The songwriting, the working with the producers, the seeing the girls lay their tracks, just watching them do what they do. I love it. I love it. The business side of it, the creative side of it. I love it. And then, you know, I'm a show reviewer, so you know the little drama side. I'll take that too. Sure will. And the drama is plentiful. Do you understand? It is plentiful. But what I will say, Miss Keely, you better get to work because Aubrey O'Day is coming for your ass, sister. She's coming for you, Miss Thing. But anyway, we start off with Sita. Miss Sita. Child, so she introduces a new role in the house. The queen. How you going to have all these women in the house and there don't be a queen? Now, we got a whole bunch of queens in the house, but there's going to be one queen who reigns over all. The queen of hearts, or the queen of spades, honey. Never the club. The queen of hearts or the queen of spades, or the queen of diamonds. Baby, you better get into it. So listen. So there's going to have to be a queen. They're going to vote for the queen amongst themselves. Well, quite naturally, Pam won for the queen. And I was happy about it because I'm going to say this. I am loving Pam. I'm loving Pam's aura. Okay? Because Pam is cool. She's calm. She's collected. And she seems to have her head on straight. Now, some stuff, you know, ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. So I knew at some point we were going to run into this thing with Pam. Now, let me just tell y'all. And then we got a piece of housekeeping we got to do. Because I think I figured out who it was. Let me do that first before I go mess with my girl Pam. Hold on. Okay, let's do this housekeeping. Last week, I told you all there was some drama from back in the day, and I could not figure out exactly who it was. That had something to do with the Cherish girls. Twins. Twins twinning. If I'm not badly mistaken, that drama had to do with the twins from H-Town. Because H-Town has a set of twin boys. And for some reason, I'm thinking it had something to do with those twins and the Cherish twins. Where all the drama, it was a whole love, end up hate, super fest of twinning, if I'm not badly mistaken. I believe it was the boy twins from H-Town who was fine. So one of them actually died, was either murdered or passed on. I think one of them actually has passed on. I think he's transitioned. But before all that, I believe that's where the drama was. I got some more digging I got to do, but that is sticking in my head. I believe it was the male twins from H-Town where all the just hold on. We're gonna figure it out. See, listen, I've been here, but I ain't got no Alzheimer's, honey. I remember when shit be going down, honey. Listen, I'm gonna bring it on back to y'all. But let's get on back to what we're doing. Down off my soapbox, but on boom, boom, bam, and I'm back. Let's go, Miss Pam. So she goes through, she gets voted queen. Then we figure out the rules of the engagement is that at least 3 of these songs on this album, it's this album of 10 songs, and the 29th day of them being in the house, they're going to perform. There's going to be a performance with an audience, and they're going to perform these songs, and at least 3 of the songs have to include all 8 of the girls on these songs. So this is going to be the task, okay? Because, you know, we're already up in the air about who's going to do what and how they're going to do it. So, okay, the girls, the guys come in, the producers come in, and we're like, okay, cool. and they're working with them. So I'm enjoying it, loving it, seeing the girls go in. You see who's doing what, who's very comfortable, who's not comfortable. I really, I knew it was really, it was tense. It was tense because there's still shade. Okay, so there's still a little shadiness. There's still the thing of the two groups going back and forth. So I wasn't really expecting a lot of help and let me sit with you, sis, and that kind of thing to go on. What I did, like, I saw Irish was a little nervous. Pam came in. See, again, this is why Pam is the queen. Came in and stood with Irish as just basically moral support. Not to say you can't do this, you can't do that. You need to do, just to sit to make her comfortable, because she said she hadn't been in the booth for like 6-7 years. So she went in with Irish, and yeah, it was a little shaky. It was a little shaky. And it sounds more like nerves than anything else. We all know that Irish can sing. We know she can sing. Look, I was a 702 fan. So, what did I gotta do to make you see? The 702 was the shit. And the way that their little stuff was set up, and with the lead singer, you couldn't follow her or uphold her without being able to sing, because that heifer sings. So they was doing that, you know, they were on it. Her, I remember, because some of them songs shout that you just don't know, you know what you do. They were on it. Misha and Irish used to be on it. They supported her in 702. They were on it. So it's more of rustiness and just not being, you know, they're just, it's a lot of nerves. So it is what it is. And you work through it. It's okay. It's cool. And this is what Pam was given. She's just like kind of there for moral support. There was still some eye rolling going on and stuff. Child, that Felicia is a bitch. Period. She is. She's a bitch. And that's not so much as a bad thing. She uses it in bad ways sometimes. But I think she's more on the, I'm in the business. I'm currently in the business. So I don't really have time for artist development. I want to get in here. I want to get it done. I want to make some money. I'm ready to go. She's in the business and she's making money. So artist development ain't really her thing. I want you when you're ready to go. So that's kind of what she's bringing to the table. And her sister is just a follow along, you know. And she's their doppelganger. So, of course, there's a little bitch that resides inside of her. And they are very, and there's a lot of competition there. They're a little narcissistic, too. They're cool, but they are. They're these things. Aubrey O'Day, complete and total bitch. Y'all already know it. Any bitch to go up against Diddy head to head on a personal level just to do it, you already know what it gives. Miss Aubrey is here for the shits, and she don't back down very easily. And then Aubrey is on a mission. And I'm going to talk about that later. And the mission is to eradicate Keely. You better get into it. Anyway, moving on. Aubrey going for the sure enough money. I see you, Aubrey, and you not slick. You don't really care much about being in the group, honey, because it ain't Danity Kane. And these girls can't give what Danity Kane gave. Danity Kane had 5 lead singers, just like En Vogue has 4 lead singers. This group ain't got a group full of lead singers. It don't. You got Aubrey. You got Keely, who will be able to carry a lead. You got the one twin. Well, both twins, actually, but it would be the same thing. They lead together. They could be the next change of faces. But you also got some girls in here who are backup. Their backup is what they do. Pam was a fierce backup and hype man for the most part. Irish and Misha were backup. See, a girl, and this is the thing is, they're looking at it crazy. It's not a bad thing. A girl group, it's very odd for a girl group to make it with all leads. Now, having all leads will give you a fierce ass group. But we don't have very many of those. We got En Vogue. Period. And they've stood the test of time. But they've had shifts. They've had hiccups in the road. But they continue to pick they work with what they had to work with. They knew. Foster and McElroy knew what they were doing. They put them together. They knew. And they knew the risk of putting together 4 leads. And they were. All of them could carry the lead. All of them can make it without the other. Like I said, there's been hiccups in the road, but they're still together and they're still making it. It's very odd. It's very odd. Very. Somebody is always the lead. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And then when you have sister groups, it's odd. The Clark sisters, each one can play the lead. The only thing that keeps them together is their belief in God, the promises they made to their mama, and the love they have for one another is the only reason why the Clark sisters are together to this day. But each one, Twinkie, Jackie, Dorinda, and Karen, can carry that group all by themselves and have done it. And they all have the solo careers to prove it. To prove it. Each one of them. But it is odd. It's very odd. And again, hiccups in the road. They had one sister that fell to the wayside too. Again, here I go soapboxing. Y'all listen, you know this is the shit I love. Anyway, let's move on. So, this is the thing. Felicia gets her ass up. Ain't nobody asked her. She roll up in there. Now, we already got the producers. The one little guy producer, he was being really, really cool. And he was doing some artist development and kind of helping, really softly helping Irish through, because I think he sees what's there. You know, I see his eyebrow raised a couple times like, ooh. But again, he wasn't being mean. He was very, being helpful to her. But then, here we come. Remember, they got a vocal coach. They have a vocal coach. She wasn't there. But here comes Felicia. Why don't you sing it from your gut and go from your diaphragm? Ain't nobody asked you for a vocal lesson right now, sis. And you got a little something in your voice like, I ain't shit. So that's how it comes across. That's how that's how it comes across, and that's how you presented yourself in the beginning. So that was that. Child said, "Oh boy," but Irish is a champ. Irish was like, "Okay, cool, thank you, honey, thank you, whatever." And she's like, "I sold more records than her, child. I know how to do this. I can do it. I just need a little time, but I can do it." I said, "I know that's right. I know that's right." But it's just nothing. Again, a lot of times it's not the message; it's the messenger that screws up the situation. So anyway, they get through that part, and they were feeling good about what they did. And then there was another thing. Here go Keely. Keely laid tracks. Now I'm questioning too. At this point, I don't know what Keely's situation is. We know we're dealing with Carlos King. Carlos King is crafty. Do you understand? Carlos King is that. He is like the king of reality. He is. He's one of the kings of reality. Him and Mona. They know how to do this thing, and they know how to do it. They know how to do this thing. I'm just going to leave that there. They know how to keep us in the seats. They do. And I don't know what Keely's real angle is, but I don't trust it. I don't trust you, Keely, and I got my eye on you. But one thing I do know is I know Aubrey, and I know Aubrey got her good eye on you too. So, girl, I don't know. But anyway, she goes and she lays tracks, and they're like, if she's not going to be in the group, why is she laying vocals? Why is she background dancing? Why is she wasting time of hours to do our project if she's supposed to be the creative director? And she doing everything but. She doing the same things we doing. Plus, is it me? Or is Keely running around here drunk all the goddamn time? I said, girl, what you giving? Just drunk. So what you all drunked up? What's going on? I said, girl, she said she started looking a little unwired. I said, girl, what's going on? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so listen. She gave me a little drunk, honey. Anyhow, okay, so Pam and they're sitting there and they're talking. And as they're talking, Aubrey was leaning over on Pam. And Pam corrected Aubrey. And she told her, and this was another thing that I touched on last week, about her sexuality. She basically tells the girls that are there, because the ones that were sitting there was the twins, Aubrey and Keely sitting there. She tells them, I used to be with a woman. I had a relationship with a woman, but I've been delivered from that. I've been delivered from it, and I don't want anybody getting the wrong idea. So I'm not with the feely, touchy stuff. Like, I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be hugged and all of that, because I don't want, I know what it looks like, and I know what it may look like to other people. I just don't want that. Listen, that's a whole nother video that I could do, and I'm not going to spend this whole video on that. But what she did was she opened up a large can of worms, okay? Again, I said, Carlos King, oh, you're brilliant. But I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can, as lightly as I can, okay? And some people ain't going to like what I say, because that's what I'm good at. Not balancing and saying, shit. That's what I'm good at. So come on, let's go. Now, the twins, Aubrey and Keely, were offended. They were offended at what Pam said. And Aubrey felt as though it came across homophobic. Keely felt like it came across homophobic. The twins just didn't like it. They don't like shit, but they didn't like it. It just didn't sit well with them. Now, Pam ends up speaking later to Nivea and Shamari, and she was like, I don't know if I said too much or the way I said it, but she told them what had happened. And they told her, no, baby, it's okay. However you protect your energy, however you express what you need to express to make sure you're comfortable in the house is okay. But again, when you learn Shamari is really open to all type of sex and that kind of thing, and she's really cool in other world. But Shamari has a little tougher skin. Shamari is a very interesting girl. It takes a little bit to shake Shamari. And can I say how clean Shamari has been? Like, in all her confessionals, Ronnie, you got Miss Shamari thoroughly together. Miss Shamari, she's together in these confessionals. I said, girl, you looking cute. You looking cute, Miss Shamari. Now, I got to give you that, girl. She learned. She definitely took her time with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she is putting it to use over here. And Shamari DeVoe is looking good up on here. You understand me? I'm here for it, Shamari. You're doing a good job so far, sis. Doing a really good job. Nivea is just a cool chick. So they're like, girl, whatever you need is what it is. Now, we were like, okay, cool. So that kind of went, and then it kind of passed on. They move on to this whole thing again of Keely and her laying these vocals and all of this. Then the next thing I know, I see Keely and Fallon are sitting down having a talk. And it's really about Irish and Misha. Misha is overhearing the conversation. Really hurt her feelings. It really did hurt her feelings. Because they basically just sort of, she don't know what she good at, but not much. And Irish can't sing. She just said it flat out. Irish can't sing. And I'm like, okay. Now, in this conversation, Fallon was doing a lot of the talking, okay? But Keely wasn't quiet. She wasn't quiet. But Fallon, she was letting Fallon really get it, and she was helping it along. So Misha ends up going to Pam, and she was actually crying. Pam was like, okay, Pam stepped right into that role of Queen's Own. It's time to have Queen's Court. And she held court. She put all the women together. Let's nip this in the bud. Right now, we're not going to let this grow legs or any of that. So they sat down and they went to actually have this conversation. In the midst of them having this conversation, everything started coming out, baby. And it was just a smorgasbord. And what do Jackie from Basketball Wives call? It was a ponderosa. Baby, it got started. And The girls were saying what they had to say about this thing, that thing, and the other thing. Misha's like, so what? Do you think I should just go home? And Fallon's like, well, wait a minute. You know, I said what I said. It is what it is. You got to figure out what it is you're good at and then do that. Don't waste your time on other stuff. If you can't dance, then you wasting time. And she's like, so what do you suggest? If I'm not a great dancer and everybody else is a great dancer, then I don't try at all. What do I do? Just go home? And she's correct. She's correct. By the way Fallon is talking, there would never be a Michelle Williams. We know that Michelle Williams can't keep up with Kelly and Beyonce. But Michelle Williams is very much Destiny's Child. She's just as much Destiny's Child as Beyonce and Kelly. And she can't keep up with them dancing. But that heifer can sing. She does what she does well. The other things she works at and she does what she can. No, you don't throw in the towel and go home. So that's just some old mean girl bullshit you talking about. Fallon, you out of order. And you not the one running things. So you're not the one that get to say all that. This is the thing. You're doing too much. The two twins are too vocal. They are. It's cool. But the two, y'all aren't perfect. And in this journey, and this is what I'm waiting on, there's going to come a time in the journey when we run into something that you two heifers ain't good at. And are the girls going to give you grace? Or are they going to drag y'all the way y'all do them? Because these twins drag these ladies. They like Nivea. Is the other reason why they ain't dragging Nivea. And Nivea sings. But Nivea don't really fool with them. Nivea got her own thing going on. But I think again, you do to who you think you can do it to. I think they know that it won't go too well with Nivea, honey. There'll be some hair on the wall playing around with Miss Nivea, honey, with her ghetto ass. I think it'll be a problem if you get talking to Nivea all crazy. You get talking to Pam too crazy. It'll be like you down at the lesbian bar and somebody will be being punched in the forehead. Babble on the... You know what I mean? But anyway, so in the midst of all that, they got all that out. And then Aubrey went for Pam. Because Aubrey always going to get... Aubrey's going to get her moment. That is who Aubrey is, baby. Pam, that homophobic stuff. And then Keely came in. Boom. And Keely went straight for her. And was like, I am bisexual. I don't like what you said. It's homophobic. This, that. So the girl was like, wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up now. What you not going to do. Because we like some Pam, honey. She done became like Mother Pam, honey. You're not getting ready to do Pam. You're just not going to do it. You may feel however you feel, but you're not going to do Pam. We're just not having it. And Pam told him, she says, no, I'm not homophobic. How could I be homophobic? I actually had a woman. You know, I've laid with a woman. But I know that this is where the issue came in, Pam. First of all, you can be homophobic, Pam. You can be. You can be. You can make homophobic statements and you could actually have a homophobic outlook even though you've walked the life. Do I feel like Pam's homophobic? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't feel like Pam is homophobic at all. I feel like Pam had an internal struggle. She is working with it how she's working with it, and that's it and that's all. That's it and that's all. And Pam has bought into the church lock, stock, and barrel is what she's done. But do I think she hates the gays? Do I think she has issues with the gays? No. Issues with her gay? Absolutely. But that's another video for another time, and maybe I'll do one. Maybe I'll do one. Let me tell you something. Where the issue, I knew the issue was going to divide because this is one of those type of issues. You put people in the room, and I don't care who these people are and what walk of life they come from, you're going to get a portion of the room that feels one way and a portion of the room that feels the other kind of way. It's not really a big issue. I always say, everybody in the world is not gung-ho about how I am. Everybody in the world don't love me. There's people in the world that can't stand who I am and what I am. And I'd be the fool to believe that. Any gay person walking around that believes I could make everybody love me, you are crazy. There are people who are never going to like you. You can have the best personality. You could be the most beautiful with the best hair and the best clothes and have the nicest person. There are people who are literally just that little twinkle in you. They're going to hate your guts. And there's nothing that you've ever done to them and nothing that you'll ever do to them. But that's life. That's life. And that is their Pennsylvania privilege. See, people get real bent out of shape about that homophobic thing. And homophobes do not want to be called homophobes. There are very few homophobes that really will bite it and eat it and say, yeah, I am. I don't like it. They're not plentiful. Not to just come out and say it. Behind closed doors, sure. Kitchen table talk, sure. But no, they'll play in your face and all of that. Sit up underneath you. And that's the part that really wears me out when they're around you. And you're saying, why are you around me if you hate things about me so much? Getting something from you, using you for something. People do things for all their own reasons. Their own personal shit. Some struggle they got going. It gets deep. Like I said, it's another video for another time. But I'm going to say this. Pam is bought in lock, stock, and barrel. Okay, so she's all the way there with the God said man should not lay with a man and this, that, that. I was like, oh God, Pam. See, here we go with the message and the messenger. See, you sound crazy, Pam, when you bring that. Now, we know that. We know the scripture. We've heard it over and over and over. But we don't want to hear it from you. Because you did lay with a woman. You did lay with a woman. And it ain't out of you said, I'm delivered from it. No. Because if you were so-called delivered from it, you wouldn't be worried about what it looks like. That a woman leaned on you. See, all of that told me it ain't all together, sis. And it's cool. It's cool. There are people who also, like Keely came through and said, girl, okay, you say you ain't homophobic, fine. But Keely don't believe that you could be delivered from your homosexuality or your lesbianism. She don't believe it. And that's another one. That's another one of them room discussions. Some people believe it, some people don't. Some people don't. And I'm going to tell you, most people don't believe it. Most people don't believe it. And especially, it depends on how deeply in the life that you were. You literally walked around for years in a relationship with a woman. So when you say, and I know Pam will know that when you say it in the room and say, I was delivered from being a lesbian, you know over half of the room is giving you this, girl. Girl, somebody lift up their skirt right now and see what she did. Nobody gonna believe you. Let me tell you who believes that they can be delivered from being gay. This is who believes it. People who really hate that part of themselves, who have bought into the church, lock, stock, and barrel. They believe they can be delivered from their gay. You know who else believes it? The people at the church who want to take the credit for saying, I'm the one that prayed it up off of them. That's the other people who believe that you could be delivered from your gay. But all them people sitting in them pews, ask me how I know, and I'll do another video for you. Ask me how I know. And I know for a fact my pastor, and both I had a female pastor and a male pastor, loved my ass to death. Loved me to death. But it is what it is. My female pastor, she believed that I could be delivered from being who I am. But her husband, he ain't about that shit. It's like, I love you like you are, period. Now I'm going to give you the scripture and tell you what scripture says, and I'm going to tell you how we work with it, how we work with the scripture, and how we move forward, and you get everything that you need, and I give you all the teachings that I have to give you. But no, I ain't going to sit here and try to pray it out of you. I ain't going to try to turn you against who you are or who you think you are or what makes you tick. I'm not doing that. He didn't believe that shit. But his wife, she was very much of the nature because she wanted to be able to be the one to say, I lifted that spirit off of him. I would, and you know, she'll go and do in tongues. She was prima donna. Loved her to death, but she was who she was. She's a prima donna. She believed it because she wanted to be the one to take the credit for it. The members of the church, child, nobody believe that. I never played the game with it because I don't believe it. So, and the thing is with me, can't break my spirit. See, I don't believe nothing wrong with me. Catch that. I'm who I am. I'm who I've been. I'm going to be who I am all the way to the end. Period. I don't have a problem with my gayness. Other people got a problem with it. Not me. But James and his gayness is cool. James and his relationship with that man upstairs is cool. He ain't asked me nothing about it, ain't said nothing to me about it, and I ain't said nothing to him about it. I'm good to go. Period. And that is the thing. Pam, no, not so much. Pam not good to go. Pam not comfortable with it either. That's why Pam felt the need to start explaining herself. She don't want nobody touching her because you still have them feeling somewhere in there. You felt a kind of a way. You feel like if a woman is hugging you, then what? It's going to jar something up in you? Anybody on this planet should be able to touch you and it not jar up sexual feelings. You're struggling with something. You're struggling with something. I have no sexual attraction to a woman. I could hug all over a woman. Ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen. I hug all over a man. If I don't like him, ain't nothing going to happen. But if I like that man or that man is attractive to me, something going to happen. But to literally not want anyone of the female gender touching you or by you, you struggling with something, sis. And that's cool. Whatever. Your walk with your religion and your spirituality, it's never ending. But it really is about you and your God. That's it. And that's where the issue came. And I knew it was coming. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to get off of this because we can continue on. I go. We'll do this maybe another time. Y'all leave it in the comments. We could really get into it. If you know, I'll open up and we could do it. But there's a lot of pieces to this. But yeah, it was problematic. It was problematic. I didn't feel like she needed to be attacked. Keely, you got all bent out of shape. I didn't feel that. And I totally don't believe that Pam is homophobic. At all. Do I think she got some unresolved issues within herself? Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. It's good. Yes. Jesus loves me. Yes, he does, Pam. It don't matter, for the Bible tells me so. He loves you, girl. Don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it. Continue your journey. Things gonna be all right. But, girl, no, you still struggling, sis. You still struggling. You're not delivered yet, sis. You're not delivered. Not just yet. Do I believe in the deliverance? No. Anyway, moving on, but that's me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Down off my soapbox, but boom, bam, but I'm back. We got all of that. Everything was cool. Everything's cool. In the midst of that whole thing, they kept going, and then the thing with Keely came up. Again, it's this Keely and how she does things, and the girls going on. Next thing you know, honey, her and Felicia get to going out, and honey, and Felicia told her, girl, you're a two-faced bitch. I don't see what you're doing here. All I see is you starting shit. That's what I see. Girl, you're a two-faced bitch. I said, oh. Okay. And her sister was still pumping her, know what you're good at. I said, okay. So that was it. That ended that night. They shut it on down. Next day, I look up here. We got Aubrey is over here doing a vision board. I said, here go the bullshit. Miss Aubrey. Here she go. Baby, that Aubrey was moving and shaking, moving and shaking. She done created this vision board. I said, Pay attention, Keely. She's coming after your creative direction position. This is what she's doing. Again, she ain't playing. She coming full throttle for you, girl. She's trying to get it. She's trying to eradicate Keely and get rid of Keely and get Keely out of there. And the thing is, Aubrey, y'all listen to me real good. Aubrey ain't thinking about no girl group. Aubrey is thinking about creative director. If she could take Keely's job, pay attention now, as creative director on this show, that's a paycheck. See, the rest of these girls, whatever. Y'all getting y'all a little check for being here. But Keely getting a check for being there. Keely getting a check for creative director over the project. If the project pops, Keely pops. Creative direction will go, if there's a tour, if this pops off and we love it and it creates a tour, Keely got credits on creative direction over the group. Naturally, she'll have something to do with the tour and how things are set up. That's more checks. Keep on pushing forward with it. Season 2. See, this is just how R&B Divas started. And you know how many seasons of R&B Divas we had. We went to all different cities and stuff. Creative direction. Checks on checks on checks on checks. And then, if you're really good at, you might land yourself an EP, an executive producer. More checks. Keely, you better watch your bread and butter, girl. Miss Aubrey is coming for you, Miss Thing. And I believe that's why Keely ain't pushing for the group, because we know the group ain't gonna work. 8 women in a group, that shit ain't gonna work. We know that's not gonna work. But creative direction, perfect. If it breaks down into 2 groups, 3 groups, you can be the creative director over each of those groups. Checks on checks on checks on checks. Keely knows what she's doing. And Aubrey knows what she's doing. So after they end up getting into this whole little thing, and that was that, and then Aubrey came for her, girl, I'm doing what you should be doing. This, that, thing, and the other. We don't know what you tried to do. She's trying to get rid of her. And the girls was like, oh, yeah. So the girls kind of had ganged up on her. Was like, why are you here? Why are you wasting our time? Why don't you go on home if you ain't doing that? And then Aubrey doing the job, you might as well go on it. I said, girl, it's working, Miss Aubrey. It is working. And then Felicia goes and takes up for her. I don't want anybody jumping on Keely because this, that, and the other, and I don't think any woman should be being attacked here. And women's empowerment, this, that. Felicia, you call her a two-faced bitch. What you doing, sis? What you doing? Girl, you playing both ends against the middle. This shit is good. Do you understand me? I am enjoying this. Is entertainment. Girl, the messy shit going on here is too damn good. Show is. I done talked long enough. Let me get on up out of here. I'm gonna get on up out of here. But at the end of it all, Miss Keely then broke down and she's like, I'm confused. I just don't know what to do. Here go Fallon and Felicia. They done pulled her off to the side. She's like, but you called me a two-faced bitch yesterday and now you're taking up for me. I said, girl. Right here, girl. You drunk, bitch. You drunk. That's the other thing. If you're going to be directing something and you're going to be handling something, you're too drunk. You're drunk. Did y'all clock it? You're drunk. I'm loving it. I'll see y'all next week, honey. This is it. This right here, this shit right here. I think this is my favorite show on at the moment, child. Yes, God, honey.